Hello. Dr. Lusheen back here again. This is the final instructional lecture for Safety 481. It's analysis and design. I like to call it senior design. Rightfully, some of you had pointed out this week's assignment. It's like, well, it didn't seem much like an analysis and design class because of all of the focus on professionalism and career development. And indeed, maybe I need to change the name, but the way this course was originally designed and delivered, I felt that it spent far too much time on the academic side of problem solving. That let's talk about teamwork, let's talk about report writing, let's talk about OSHA standards, and I personally feel that everybody in this class, you guys were beyond that, and it would have been a waste of your time to review those kinds of things for the first 4 to 5 weeks of the course. And that's the way it used to be designed. I took it upon myself to update the content based on what I'm hearing from people who hire my students or observe their work in order to get you all better prepared for the next step. The next step being your capstone internship. And then after that, your career. And so last semester, I efforted this new design, this new journey approach. And I'm seeing in the current capstone class some considerable improvements in how they are handling themselves, where their minds are, where their goals are, and what they took upon themselves this current semester. And I'm proud of that, and I want to see it continue with you. But still, I know that this course needs more improvement, and that's kind of the point of this final, reflective presentation. So for this week, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review the course. And instead of making it easy to swallow, I'm going to take the long road and kind of discuss things throughout, things that we've done. We've done a lot. But I want to know what you think. So I'm going to take you on this journey, and this journey is meant to get you thinking about what you can recommend to me. How does that sound? So I'm asking for, what's the proper word? Constructive feedback and not insulting. You can, whatever, I'm not going to hold, honesty is always appreciated. And of course I want to improve, and I know that I'm not perfect, but my intent and what I've done for you this semester, it was all meant to enhance your perspectives, your skills, your networks, to be more successful. And I hope I nudged you all at least one step, point in that direction. In addition to that, I want to cover a little bit, I guess I didn't prepare enough for it, ASSP membership and certifications, and I'll talk about that briefly at the end. Along with, I want you to read some of the posted lifelong learning statements that the students just submitted. I was reviewing them this morning. They're very good. That's another point of improvement that I've seen, is your ability to really take an honest look of what you've experienced and really think about the positives of it. And what you plan to do in the future. So we're not going to look at those on the video. You're going to read those yourselves. I'd like your impression without my contribution. And then finally, if you haven't already, please complete the course climate survey. It was sent to you via email from UWW. Please do that. It's due by May 6th. Don't wait. Just go ahead and do it right away, please. Thank you. And then I want you guys to choose. I'm going to send out an invite with a WebEx links that I want you either to present on Thursday evening or Sunday evening. You're welcome to show up to both if you want to listen and contribute. There's only 5 of you, so I'm pretty sure a lot of you are going to move till Sunday. We may get 1 or 2 for Thursday, and I think I know who's going to take each. We'll see. So it'll be probably, I have to check the schedule for my daughter's softball. It'll probably be 8 o'clock on Thursday, and then Sunday at 7 p.m., and this is all Central Time. And I'll kind of list out a little bit. Well, no, this is a pretty good list out of the things you should be addressing. So read the lifelong learning statements. So the first one, you're going to do a presentation. Second, I want everybody to make an appointment with me next week. That's finals week, in which we will meet virtually, or if you're near campus, especially on Tuesday. I'll be on campus on Tuesday administering a final exam. We can meet, review your course binder, its contents, and then just have like an open and honest discussion about what your plans are. I want to start looking ahead. That's the point of the exit interview. I want you to take an attempt to write a lifelong learning statement after you read the ones that are posted. You're going to have to do one for your capstone. It's kind of, for all intent and purpose, everything you guys have done in this class were meant to prepare you to make the capstone internship easier, because you've kind of done it all before. You've seen behind the scenes. You know what goes into your sausage. So next and final is to make any recommendations to improve this course. Again, your honesty is much appreciated, and this lecture right now is meant to kind of take you on that journey. So let's begin with the top of the Canvas page. I provided you with some pre-semester requests for surveys and uploading things and stuff like that. And that's meant to get you to understand the importance of creating a digital representation. We use LinkedIn, but there are other forums out there, other sites, apps, things like that. But you want to make sure you're presenting your best self, something that makes you attractive, valuable to a future employer. Also, connections, professional connections. We got the syllabus, and I'm going to go over that in a moment. Then I provide you information about the internship requirement, a case study overview, what the internship binder is all about, the scoring of it. So we're going to do next week for the second time in the semester. So make sure you have both of your case studies in there with comments. Here's an example of one, and then the advice. I gave you a lot of information throughout on LinkedIn. Here's more information. Hopefully you all are very comfortable in just perusing the lifelong learning statements that you're going to be reading. One thing that I was making note of is what they're saying about LinkedIn and networking. I think it's good. As far as ASSP, this is again, last week I got some very honest feedback from you all, and I do appreciate that. And then last Thursday, we hosted an ASSP Wisconsin chapter meeting on campus. Well, the CEC. And you guys are all online, so it would be difficult for you to go. But we had a lot of former students attend. It wasn't as well attended as the meeting we hosted in November of last year. That was on confined space entry. This one was on industrial hygiene basics. But we had about 25 people showed up. And it was a great session. It was very interactive. We brought up some really interesting topics, and people stayed after to ask questions. So it, by all measure, it was a successful meeting, though I think we only had 2 current students attend, and no students attended the board meeting to kind of see how that works. And I think it's because everybody's busy, and what we need to do is maybe find a more convenient, that's the word I wanted, convenient access to whether we host elements online so that people who are online like you all can attend and more graduate students could attend, and then be very selective with how we handle face-to-face and site tours and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I am with that, but I do think ASSP is a valuable, and dare I say, if you are going to be practicing safety, it's essential. I mean, how do you define a professional? A professional is someone who has an accredited degree in their craft, in their field of study or expertise, and that they belong to an organization which requires a standard of ethics of practice, and they can be held to those ethics. And finally, that you've completed a professional exam and been granted a license, and that license is accredited and is evaluated by expert peers. That's what you need to be a professional. Otherwise, you're a technician. Inchbo had pointed that out years ago, and I do strongly believe in that you don't have to have a degree or a license to practice, but if you are a professional and you want to practice ethically and you want to really grow and enjoy your career, you should be part of it. And I brought in a bunch of guest speakers, and they praise it because that's where I got them from. They're all from ASSP. I got to host the Regional Operations Committee meeting at the ASSP headquarters in Park Ridge. And I was lucky enough that the CEO, Jennifer McNally, she came and spoke to the group twice, actually. And I got to sit in on a chapter meeting the night before those meetings. And that was great too. But I just can't overstate the importance of networking and getting to know people. I'm going to be going to the national conference in San Antonio in June. I'm actually speaking at it, but on a topic that I'm not very familiar. While I was at the Wisconsin Safety Council, I talked to a lot of friends, a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while. And they always want to know, what are you up to? And I'm very honest with how you guys are doing, what you guys are experiencing, what I'm hearing from others. And then, of course, I'm talking about, different presentations I'm giving and things I'm working on. And I'm doing a presentation on ESG, which is environmental social governance. And it is sort of the evolution of sustainability. And it's kind of a cool thing, but your company needs to be in the right head space to pursue it. And so my friend connected me with someone who is that coordinator for Carry Ingredients. And she was very generous with what her experiences are and what she's learned and the resources she would recommend. And so in an hour, I took like 3.5 pages of notes. They gave me like 7 links to things I can follow up on. And it's really put me in a great position to be able to assemble a presentation and speak intelligently on this movement, which I think is important. I mean, I've got some background in sustainability and quality management, things like that. But what she told me, and she gave me some international references as well. I do think that it has a lot of value in our field, and it's a different mindset. It really is just practicing safety from a different perspective and using different language and considering other factors and variables in some of your decision making. Yeah, and so. But would I have been able to get in contact with this person? Sure, I could have randomly found them on LinkedIn. I don't know if they would give me the time of day, but through a connection that I've developed over the years, I was able to receive all kinds of great information. So that's what the value is. That I've got, as you go through your career, you're going to come across issues, and the resources you have put you in a position on whether you're going to be successful or not. And so therefore, sure, you have your personal knowledge, sure, you have the book smarts and access to do your own research, but to have access to people who have expertise and can provide you insight, or have a set of mentors who can make sure, verify whether you're on the right path or make other recommendations, that's where you really improve, everybody. Now I'm kind of, in a way, your mentor. I've given you feedback on performance. I've asked you to do things as a means to develop your skills, knowledge, and abilities. Is that the right term? I think it is. But really, you need to develop that network. LinkedIn is a great tool. Honestly, I love it. I think you guys should be using it very regularly. Not only to promote yourselves, but to connect to others who know things. But ASSP, you go to a meeting or a conference, and there's just nothing that can replace it. It's the way to go. It really is. Start as a student, put in the time. The more time you put into it, find opportunities to be a volunteer leader, and you get a lot out of it. I don't even see it as volunteer extra work. I see it as the thing I need to do in order to maintain my professionalism. All right. Now, I didn't talk about the Board of Certified Safety Professionals, and I probably should. So, because there's been some confusion. I read some of like I had indicated, you're going to read them too, the lifelong learning statement. Some students said that plan to get the GSP, but I don't plan to get the CSP. And I'm like, the whole reason for getting your graduate safety professional designation is to sit for the CSP. If you don't want to sit for the CSP, if you don't want to pursue that exam in 4 years after graduation, don't get the GSP, because you're just kind of throwing your money away. It's a temporary placeholder is what the GSP is. You get it for 5 or 6 years, I think. 6 years sounds about right. After that, you either, what's the old adage, shit or get off the pot. So, if you're going to work in this field, if it's your passion, and it needs to be your passion, you can't just do this from 9 to 5 and then go home and forget about it. I can't anyway. No matter where I go, I can't shut it off. I'm always assessing in my environment. And talking about it, obviously, ad nauseum. But if you're going to be working in this field, you really need to take advantage of the GSP that's being presented to you with a clear plan that within 4 to 5 years, you're going to begin sitting for and achieve the CSP. Practice ethically, pursue continuous education, grow your network. You'll be successful then. That's how you do it. You got so many people out there that are trying to take the easy route. And sure, it may seem like things are going good currently, but eventually that house of cards is going to fall. Seen it too many times. And you guys know how I am with monitoring things and my honest reporting of it. As far as graduation, you should have all applied by now. But you need to apply this semester before you do your capstone. Most of you are in that position. So if you haven't already, you need to apply. You need to fill out paperwork on your capstone internship and turn that in to Kay and Dr. Bookman to make sure all your I's are dotted, your T's are crossed. And you can, if you are capstoning over the summer, do May commencement. Walk the stage. It's good to celebrate milestones like that, life milestones. A lot of you took advantage of the student spotlight. I think that was great. And I would like you to be thinking about what were the number of your connections at the beginning of the semester and what is it now? And I'd like to know what that growth is. I think that's a good thing. Okay, so what did we do then? So I had set out, and we could take a quick look at the syllabus. I wanted to focus more on professionalism at the beginning and just touch on the analysis and design element, and then flip-flop as we go through. I put a lot of placeholders in here, and I'm going to be reviewing extensively what we did this semester, what you guys told me, and then specifically what you tell me this week, as far as content. Did you want to see more of one or the other? Should I have requested less of you? Should I parse it out better, more evenly throughout the semester? Or do you like when it's really busy at the beginning and then really light at the end? I need to know that kind of stuff. Because we were, I think, week 6 or week 7. Yeah, when we did the midterm binder scoring, some of you indicated that this is too much. You are asking a lot of us. It's taking a lot of time. And I heard you. And so I tried to pare it back a little bit for you, especially in April when I had to arrange and facilitate a 2-day meeting, with all these chapter leaders in Chicago. And then I came back the next week and I had to set up a booth at the Wisconsin Safety Council. I had to do 2 presentations, take that down. And, so busy. On top of that, I had my second job and it was going gangbusters through February, and then March hit and they went into union negotiations, and that put a pause, really knocked out my momentum I had built. And now I'm trying to scramble to recover. I need to start reporting out what's been going on the last several months. I think by Friday of this coming week, I have to have all of my metrics updated. And what I'm learning is, and I hope that they are willing to give me this latitude, give me a little bit of space, that just because something is OSHA recordable doesn't mean that we could have prevented it. Because a few of my injuries are things that have occurred over years. That the person's shoulders now, they're just saying, yeah, they've been hurting for a long time. Now it's recordable. Now they're getting treatment. A person was just bending down, doing something they do every day, and their knee went, and I got my first lost time or days away injury. It's questionable whether things are first aid only or not. If somebody goes to the doctor and the doctor, looks at their hand that got hit, and they're like, well, there's nothing broken, just kind of take it easy. What does that mean? Person comes back to work and they do the same job they've always done. It's still sore. They go back. The doctor again is like, no, there's nothing broken. You just got to rest it. But they come back and they don't have to. They can do their job without having to be concerned about the restrictions. So It's difficult, and what I think is more important is that we're making continuous improvement, that we're learning from things like that if something can be learned. But are we asking the right questions? Are we advancing our perspective on what needs to be controlled or discussed? Or are we just kind of waiting for the next thing to happen? And it's a balancing act, and I'm still trying to really understand it from a point in which I know what days what I need to do in order to continue that advance. Could you hear my dog sniffing under the door? He's funny like that. So that's what's been going on, and I want to know how you guys are doing, and I'm looking forward to your presentations. I did not get to attend the capstone presentations last week because I was busy at work. I had to go in and get some stuff done. Really, I'm trying to catch up. In April, I put in much fewer hours than I had in the previous months, and now trying to catch up. Now that the union negotiations are all finalized and everything, I have a lot of work to do. And sometimes it's like, my gosh, where do I even begin? And so, yeah, I'm trying to find that foothold again so I can move forward. And reflection is always a great way to get back to where you need to be. And that's where I am right now. Full reflection mode. Perfect for this week. So, started out the semester, we had Frank Lanko, talks about the career services, handshake, LinkedIn, resumes, prepping you for the impending career fair, which several of you took advantage of, and that's awesome. We were going to go to Space Saver Corporation for a tour. It never happened. They canceled it twice, unfortunately. But we started getting into making a business case, and you guys responded really well to that. Some of the things you guys have been covering has been really impressive. We had Tim Page Botteroff speak about ASSP and BCSP and his experiences, and that was very good. He is a national speaker. He just keynoted another regional PDC last week. And I think the topic was the importance of letting employees vent, and I 100% agree with that. Showing empathy through listening and agreement without trying to solve their problems instantly is a good thing. That's also relationship recommendations or advice. In week 4, you guys did the fair. And we also then were transitioning into reviewing previous case studies as a mean that if we dissect what other people do and we read the way they had presented it, can we learn ourselves to better present the work we do? Week 5, we had Brad Giles talk about ethics, and that was a very important and interesting presentation about how we should practice. And the reason I like to bring him in almost every semester is one of the strong points of my practice is to be ethical, to be honest. That if I don't know something, I will say, I'm not sure, I need to find out. And I think I also have one of the stronger professional networks in our profession. And that's something that I don't take lightly. It is important, the people that I know and the people I talk to. I verify a lot of my work. And taking this part-time job at April Air has also allowed me to really test myself. I'm really challenging myself that when I teach in class, am I really being honest and providing the explanation in a way that is practical, but also can be built upon? Okay. Then we moved further into the cost-benefit analysis value. So that was something really focused on, and I am proud of the resources and the things we had talked about. So this one was heavily analysis and design, and this is week 7. We had the binder grading. This is, I think, it was after this week 6 that you guys were really honest with me about, dude, lots of work here, man. We did some more work on problem solving and scientific management or scientific methodology. We got into some practical problem solving and everyday tasks in week 8. We're getting really close to the midterm, and I think week 9 was a light week, if I'm not mistaken. And we had some mentor interviews in there too. Those were difficult to organize. I want to know what you thought of those too. I think it's important that you talk to people. I do it all the time. Went to Chicago, spilled my guts out, multiple times and got great feedback. Went to the Wisconsin Safety Council, same outcome. I'm either getting verification that some of my assumptions are correct, or I'm getting recommendations on things I could try better to be more successful, or in other words, to make you all more successful. Because that's what it really comes down to me. Limped into spring break, came back, and we had Rich. Oh, I forgot we had Rick and Diana speak. They're amazing. They're one of several mentors that I go to quite a bit for feedback, and they've been there, done that. If you remember their presentation, it was very insightful, and they're such great people too. So we met then in week 12. I want to know what's going on, and what I want to do in the future. Was that not posted? I don't know what's going on here and why that's not lit up. But one thing I want to do is, and I'm going to have to do with an online class, is create student and instructor interaction, but not really real time. And so I'm going to have to implement a discussion board. And so some things will be moved to that discussion board. But the problem is you all are busy. I think all of you are either working or playing a sport. So I have to find a way that during the week there's some input, and over the weekend things are wrapped up. And that's going to be difficult. Okay, so so week 12 I was in Chicago. Week 13 I was at the Wisconsin Safety Conference. Both were amazing experiences. It took a lot of prep and a lot of work to build that in, to allow myself to go to these things, but very valuable things that I will be, tapping into and building upon probably throughout the summer. Then last week, you guys were working on your second case study. We had talked about it and thought about it throughout the month of April. You guys should have reached out and worked with your assigned capstone intern, which is another, I think, a valuable experience, but let me know if it's not. And I want you guys to be thinking about the work on Memorial Day. I was going to post something on LinkedIn, but I was just so busy trying to catch up at work and responding to questions and issues, and had some other things going on. So that my Friday was a tough day to get through. So now here we are, week 15. What? Why do I have that there? That should be deleted. So, remove. So this week we're going to do case study presentations. I will post them. It's going to be Thursday and Sunday night. You get to pick which one you want to present, and try to keep it to under 10 minutes, but 5 minutes would be ideal. And just share what you learned. Have fun with it. I want you to be thinking about the semester and writing about that. And next week, we're going to do exit interviews for our final exam. And I'll be reviewing the case binder at that point. Or your course binder. Course binder. If you haven't already, please complete the UWW course evaluation. Should have been sent to you by email. If you didn't receive it or you lost it, let me know. I can give you more information on that. That is the course, ladies and gentlemen. So you haven't seen this yet. So I'll be posting the this here. So again, review the sessions of practicing safety effectively and ethically, professional membership certification, writing a lifelong learning statement. And again, reading the ones that are provided to you. I'm going to try to remove the names if I can, to keep them anonymous. But I think we covered pretty much everything. The presentations, you guys are good at presenting, so I don't know how much advice you need. This is pretty clear what I'm looking for. So, presentations this week. Make an appointment with me for next week so we can review the binders. It can be virtual or face-to-face. Let me know. Tuesday would be the best day for face-to-face if you want to do that. I want you to make an attempt at a lifelong learning statement based on the ones you're going to be reading. And then finally, make recommendations to improve this course with the idea of what you experienced this semester as far as workload per week. Was it too heavy at the beginning, too light at the end? Pretty good for you. You let me know. What would you want more of? More of me lecturing, more of guest lectures, more mentoring? Let me know. Give me some ideas. Really think about this. Because again, I need to make this 100% online for fall, and I need to start making it applicable to graduate students too. And these are graduate students who either want to transition into the field or just entered and they're really lost. So kind of think about who they might be, because some of you have been working in the field some of you may have actually more safety experience than they do. And think about what they would need, and these are people who have a bachelor's degree in a different area and somehow made it into safety. Yeah. So that's pretty much everything. And I think I spoke at fairly decent length on the importance of not only what you know, but what you can figure out, and being honest and ethical. That's what I'm trying to do, is I want to be that example that maybe you would look to. And it was something that was discussed with some of my former students at the ASSP meeting this past Thursday, that they had said that, yeah, you demonstrating and being that professional that we should be helped a lot. That they could reach out to me and follow me on LinkedIn and reach out if they have questions. And here's the thing with that too, is if you ask me a question, you don't hear back from me within 24 hours, email me again, because I get a lot of those and I do appreciate those. And I do want to help. Just sometimes I may have to find an answer, or it's just, I apologize, but I have too much on my plate and I need to get back. So, I'm babbling. That's my true talent. So, sign up for or plan to let me know when you want to do your presentation, Thursday or Sunday of next week, and let's figure out a time to get together the week after for your exit interview and presentation of the binder. I want to thank you all. This was a very rewarding experience for me. I think I learned a lot from you, as hopefully you learned some stuff from me. And I do think you're all in a great position to be successful in this field. That's probably what I'm most proud of. So thank you very much. Have a great week, everybody.